Welcome to Card Players The Circuit with your hosts, the Donkey, the Cub, and the Caveman.
That's right, everyone. You are listening to The Circuit. We are broadcasting from the Bicycle Casino in Bell Gardens, California. This is the 2006 Legends of Poker Final Table Preview Show. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok here. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio. I'm glad we're all reunited for the intro to this show and for the entire show, in fact.
Absolutely. We got the band together. We're going to make some beautiful Final Table Preview music.
Yoko tried to break up the band, but we're all back together today.
No part of it, Yoko. Walk on down the road.
Go away, Yoko.
Go away. No, Yoko. No, Yoko.
That's right. We have a great show for everybody today. We will be handicapping the final table of the Legends of Poker, which is going to begin at 5 p.m. Pacific time from right here at the bike. I don't know if there's enough time by the time this gets up for people to come down and grab tickets, but there is a nice overflow room, and I believe it's called the Dragon Bar, where you can imbibe if you'd like to, have some cocktails and watch the final table in the overflow room, possibly even get inside. So we will handicap the final table. We have a special segment on the show tonight. And first off, though, before we even get into that, I'd like to talk a little bit about last night. Well, first of all, let's talk about yesterday afternoon. Let's talk some heads-up play. What the hell happened?
Bart Hansen got hit over the head.
He got hit over the head with the deck.
God.
I was, I
better not come across like whiners. Is all
No.
Go ahead.
I'm not whining. Okay, let's say this. Live at the bike, won. We shook their hands. We said, good job, guys. You won. With that said, Bart Hansen was absolutely hit over. I honestly thought he was outplaying the hell out of me until I came back in the booth, and you guys were like, no, he just he held over you the whole time. There's nothing you could have done, so it's very tough to play in heads up. If somebody has the best hand, they are going to win.
You know what's interesting is that Tuckman told me while you guys were out of the booth that he actually picked up Bart Hansen at IKEA yesterday and had to put him together himself. You know why? He's a card rack. No sour grapes here, though, boys and girls. No sour grapes here whatsoever. But he did kind of hold over. Tuckman did not bring it whatsoever.
Tuckman, I didn't think played.
What the hell happened in the first match against? Was it against you, Gavin?
Yeah.
Where he just moved you in with King 8 or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not even that bad a play.
That bad wasn't it?
I just didn't think he really thought that he was... He was intimidated before we ever played, which was wrong. And I really thought that he felt he was outclassed, and he just wanted to play a pot. And if he thought he could get in, like, having 40% equity, he was going to do that.
Which you've always said is not the worst possible way to play against someone you think is a better player than you are.
Right. It's not if you feel like you're outclassed, it's really not that bad. But he just had several big hands where he couldn't make laydowns. I think both of us actually made straights on him where he just he wasn't able to lay the hand down, and that actually crippled him. Once you're crippled in these heads up matches, the way that I played, Dave, from the point that I got him down very, very low in chips, he actually probably won about 70% of the pots. I just made sure that they were always tiny, tiny pots. I had no problem with him stealing my blind and that didn't bother me at all. I just made sure if I ever played a pot with him, I had a solid, decent hand because I didn't want to give him any air. And because of that, he was never able to get back. So,
well, Gavin, in your match against Bart, it was kind of ridiculous how much he was holding over you, and you were in situations where you were making what to most humanoids would be a costly second best hand. Yet somehow you just wriggled free like Houdini from the straitjacket and just got out of the way. I mean, characterize or describe your second match with Bart for us, the way you think it went down.
It was tough, man. He had the best hand all the time, and it was hard. And
it makes things difficult.
But then I don't know. I had one time when I think that Bart kind of telegraphs himself a little tiny bit, where you kind of know when he's strong. So the problem was the one hand where I had like the 9 to top pair or whatever. The problem was I was kind of strong too, but he really just like oozed that he really wanted a call, and he was really strong. So I mean, that one I didn't really like laying it down, but it was kind of easy to do. And the King of Diamonds, I mean, I really can't beat all that much.
That was the amazing laydown. Well, you can't beat all that much. Only every hand that exists except for one.
Well, 2.
What do you mean 2? There wasn't a straight flush up there, was
there? The 9 of Diamonds made a straight flush. So if he had the 9 of Diamonds or the Ace of Diamonds, he had me. And I had the King. And the biggest thing there, too, is that, you're getting to bed anyways. And say if I raise him at some point, he's not probably going to call me with the Queen.
Right.
So there's really not a ton of value in raising him there. So it was all right.
Well, Mike Sexton was certainly impressed with your heads-up play. He came in there and was like, and that is why Gavin Smith is a world-class player right there. You see him make that lay down. He's got to make that lay down. He knows it. He gets out of the way. Gavin Smith, World Poker Tour Player of the Year, World Poker Tour, World Poker Tour. It was good stuff. It was very,
World Poker Tour. Have I mentioned the World Poker Tour?
It was fun to watch in there. That's a good show. I like it. I'm glad we were able to.
I thought it was great.
The guys are great. We definitely would be more than happy to come back and play again.
We definitely want to
shellac them.
I think we definitely want to rematch.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we want to rematch in Vegas, and we'll stream it. It'll be. It won't be as
come
quite
on
as good.
our turf.
But
Come play at the Bellagio.
We want one in Vegas, and we'll stream it on CarPlayer.com.
Absolutely.
That's what we want.
Open challenge to the Live of the Bike Boys. Come back to our zone. All right.
Come back to our zone. All right. Well, last night obviously was just an unbelievable outpouring of support from the poker community. It was very touching. Many times there was not a dry eye in this house for our dear friend Paul Hannum, who passed away just about a month ago. Why don't we talk a little bit about the charity tournament? It was a $1,000 buy-in down here. There was lots of great prizes up for grabs, and even people who don't regularly show up for these World Poker Tour events, and people who even in fact have beef with the World Poker Tour, showed up
awesome
to support this great cause. And what a tournament! Talk a little bit about it, Gavin.
Well, it was overwhelming. When originally when Paul passed away, I made a commitment that I was going to scour the poker world and make money for Sarah and the baby. So then a couple of people from the World Poker Tour came up with the idea of running a tournament and asked if I would help them run the tournament. So I obviously said yes, and Kristen Cranford did all the work. She was amazing. But whenever you make this decision that you're gonna commit to running a tournament, you always have this little worry in the back of your mind. Will people show up? Will they care enough to come? Will they be willing to spend $1,000? And you're always concerned right up until the last minute when you see what happens. And when I saw what happened yesterday, how many people showed up, how overwhelming it was absolutely phenomenal. And one of the most touching things to me was when Chris Ferguson, who has the lawsuit against the World Poker Tour, showed up at the tournament. And I thought that was fantastic. And then Steve Lipscomb walked over to Chris Ferguson, shook his hand, and said, "Thanks for coming." And I mean, I thought that was great, and I thought it just proved, we can have beefs with each other and still, coexist and still think about the greater cause. And we made over $100,000 for Paul's fiance and baby, and had a great time doing it. It was awesome.
I 100% agreed with you when you said, I knew the people in the poker community were great and were friends of mine, but I didn't realize that it was just this unbelievable. And it really is unbelievable to see the people in poker. I mean, an industry that has been notorious throughout history as being one that is very selfish and very self-absorbed, and to see that last night was just awesome from an outsider's perspective. I mean, I'm part of the poker world in a way, but not so much from the way that you guys can give and the way that you can give to people, and that's something poker is doing. I think it's unbelievable. Jennifer Tilley comes back and proves yet again that she can play poker. Talk a little bit about the actual play of the tournament. You got down to talk about the final table a little bit, which was streamed on Live at the Bike as well.
The final table, Chris Bell and I were already out, and we decided we wanted to get back in, so we bought a seat off somebody when there was 2 tables left. And at the time, Chris Ferguson had the chip lead, and I actually got all of Chris Ferguson's chips. But anyways, we went to the final table as the chip leaders, and Jennifer played really well. She just, she did great, and from what I can remember of the final table, because I got to be honest, I was a little impaired.
Just a little.
It was so much fun. It was great playing it, and it ended up coming down to Chris and I versus Jennifer, and Chris and I were tagging out every 10 hands. We were playing 10 hands each, and more or less, I guess in a nutshell, she kicked our ass.
Who ended up losing the final hand?
I don't want to say.
Was it a capital G Avin?
I don't want to say, but it wasn't Chris.
Well, Jennifer Tilley made me her personal ATM machine for the beginning of the tournament. She was just hammering on me, and I couldn't get one by her at all. My table actually to start had the great Barry Greenstein at my table. He lasted one hand, although they did him kind of dirty. A guy asked for advice on a hand. I mean, it's charity, it's for fun, but Barry was like, yeah, you can show him your hand if you want to, but not if you're going to give him advice. And then he goes, oh, you have to call Barry with that hand. You have to call him with the 2 jacks, and then Barry got bounced because he had moved in with 2 sevens. And Dave DiGregorio from the World Poker Tour was going to probably lay the jacks down to Barry because he wanted to hang out and play in the tournament, and the intimidation factor of the Greenstein would have worked. Unfortunately,
but Dave did end up making the money and or the prizes or whatever, and it was a really exciting thing for him. So, Barry, you can at least be happy with the fact that your chips went to a guy who had a great time and was also great friends with Paul, and he really enjoyed himself. And then I also, like I said, I had Jennifer Tilley, Barry Greenstein, and the kid, Jeff Madsen, at my table at the same time. Everyone, except for Barry, got to take some chips from me before I was bounced. Sebok, how deep did you make it?
I got down to about 35 or 40. So I mean,
mind you, we should.
We should
point out though that Joe was eliminated quite early, And at the time, JC Tran gave him 800, and I gave him 400.
And I built it up to 8,000.
And we said, okay, Joe, but if you get up to 2,400, you got to give us back our money.
Did.
Oh, you gave him chips?
And I did.
Oh, see, I didn't know about this. I got busted on my own merit, and I left on my own merit.
I got busted on my own merit. I just didn't leave on my own merit.
You got charity at a charity tournament?
Well, you know, our table was pretty unbelievable. It was me, JC Tran, Gavin, Chris Bell,
Kirk
Morrison, and Lane Flack. We were engaging
in one of Paul's great friends, Andy.
Right.
And so then the 7 of us were horsing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to tell a story, Gavin? Go ahead.
Go, Joe.
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Gavin. Go ahead.
There we go.
Gavin's gone stonewall. Basically, we were horsing, which basically means that we were paying out. Every time anyone won the pot, they had to pay out $100 to all the players involved in the horse. Now, this did interesting things to strategy because if you stole a blind, you actually owed $300. So there was no stealing at the table. I actually raised once in early position. Everyone folded, and I lost $300 on my bet.
It's called a horse?
It's called horsing out. Basically, when you win, then everyone that was involved, which was like 6 or 7 of us, you have to pay out one red chip.
Man.
Yeah, which was 100 chips to 7 different people. So it was pretty big.
At one point, Kirk Morrison moved all in for not very much, and JC Tran folded aces because of the horsing.
Right, just because even if Kirk moved in for like 150. So if JC would have won the hand, he would have lost 200.
So it's called horsing.
Yeah.
Because people out there are probably they're immediately going to want to do this, whatever it is.
No, okay, I will tell you it is not people don't do this. It basically crippled any chance that any of us had to actually win this tournament.
I came second.
Yeah, you busted 4 times. I busted once.
3 times.
Okay, you busted
Gavin
3
wanted
times.
to bust for a good. It was busting for a good cause because every time he bought back in, it was another G note. It was perfect. All right. Well, before we move on here, just want to let everyone know in case you're a first time listener or you've just been listening but want to know how to get in touch with us. We want to reiterate the donk line is 1-877-675-1306. Start getting those calls in now for Borgata if you want to. Our email address is thecircuit@cardplayer.com. You can get in touch with us via myspace.com, and we have the forum on cardplayer.com where you can come in, ask some questions, talk to us, and obviously our page is www.cardplayer.com. We're on the homepage, or do /The Circuit and look through all of our archives. You can listen to old shows and gain valuable information that can help your game.
And if you want to get in touch with either Scott or Joe, their phone numbers are...
Right.
So we do have the final table going here pretty soon. We are going to take a very special phone call, though, before we handicap those names for you.
Hey, guys. I don't know if you know this, but tonight's episode is your 100th episode, so I just wanted to say congrats. All right, bye.
Woo. A hearty round of applause to the Circuit crew, number 100. Gentlemen, can I shake your hands? Can I shake your hand, Gavin?
Absolutely.
Can I shake your hand, Joe Sebok? I would like to say it is a pleasure working with you guys, and this
100
show just keeps getting better.
We are like old people now. We as a show, as
I've
an
been
entity.
an old person for quite some time.
No. As an entity, we are like old and decrepit, is what this means. So we got to find the fountain of youth.
That's right. And the fountain of youth is going to happen right between now and Borgata. But let me say, the fountain of youth actually may be just seconds away, as I have decided that since the show has really taken on a life of its own, it's episode number 100, and we all just love the show and love our listeners and love the people in the poker world so much, I have decided that I'm going to take icons of the game and shoot them out of cannons for our 100th episode. Danny, and oh yes, I forgot. Danny was supposed to remind me, we do have a cage of hungry lions that will be underneath them. If they survive, they can be invited back onto the show. Let's see what happens. I'd like to welcome our first guest, Mike Sexton. Mike, how's it going? I mean, it's a real rarity when a group of sock-rallied, tight individuals like you can get together and put together a great radio show like this, 100 strong, 100 long. Mike. Congratulations from everybody here at the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton saying thanks for listening to cardplayer.com's The Circuit.
Oh, there he goes. Whoa, Mike. There he goes.
Dude, he survived. It sounds like he survived. Wait,
did he? Hold on.
Wait.
Mom has done a fantastic
John
job
Fan. Hi, John.
With the circus.
John, what's up?
And always bring you the best live update and best chip count from tournament poker. That's such a good kid. You want to come get Corona, bro? Or you're working? Okay, call player the circuit.
Oh, there goes John. Oh, my
Lord.
Look at him go.
Well,
Look at that little
he's a lot lighter than Sexton.
Jeez.
Did he survive?
Gale,
Oh,
I'd like
John
to wish
Gale. Hi,
the
John.
circuit a happy 100th anniversary.
Oh, you can see John moves a little
God.
slower.
What is going on here? They've
There
all
he
survived so far, I'm assuming. They've all
3
survived.
for 3. 3 for 3.
All right. The Lions are still hungry.
You come on the circuit, you still live.
I think we have Men the Master here, men. I would just like to say to the circuit, 100 episodes strong, 100 episodes long. Joe Sebok, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith are young, attractive, great poker players. I love poker. I love the circuit. Congratulations. 9 hands, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Man, look at him. He flies.
That one's going to hurt.
That man is light.
Wow, that's
Jesus. He went further than anyone did. My goodness. All right. Chris Bell is back to guest co-host again, it sounds like. Pretty much, Gavin. I mean, you got to say, Gavin Smith. I love circuit as much as I love any radio show I've ever heard, but I'm going to tell you this much. Gavin Smith, I mean, we may be friends.
Whoa! Didn't get Chris Bell.
See ya, buddy.
Later, Chris. Thanks for the hearty congratulations. I don't even know what he just said right there.
It's kind of like shooting a pipe cleaner out of a shotgun with Chris Bell.
All right. Looks like we have the Unabomber. Phil?
Hey, this is Phil Luck, and it's sick. It's sick, bro. It's sick. This is pure. The circuit's pure, kid.
Oh, Unabomber bombed out of the cannon. There he goes. See you,
They've all
Phil.
survived so far.
That's amazing.
Oh, this guy, I can't
All
really...
the love. This is amazing.
The 50-50 rule applies to this guy right here.
This is Freddy Deeb. You are a bunch of loser nerds. 100 episodes, bullshit. Loser nerds.
Oh,
Freddie
Deeb. There
Freddie
he goes.
See you, Freddie. Oh, wait a second. Wait.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is...
Oh, man. Sorry, Freddie.
I can't look at this.
Sorry, Freddie. We're going to miss you, bro.
Oh, how many lines is he going to take?
Wow.
He's not that large.
Freddie, Jesus. You know, Freddie, I don't think Freddie made it because he was too much like an actual cannonball the way he's shaped. So he didn't go nearly as far as everybody else.
Freddie Deeb is dead, ladies and gentlemen. It is not good. Freddie's dead. The final nightmare is now over for Geralibos Vulgaris.
But you know what? Everyone else made it.
Everyone else made it. We'll be happy to have any of those people back on the show, as well as Freddie Deeb. We thank everyone. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're handicapping the final table of the Legends of Poker for you right here on the circuit.
That was awesome.
You know, a lot of things in life can be pretty boring, like being stuck in an elevator, sitting in on a 2-hour lecture on astrophysics, or being forced to go to your girlfriend's friend's wedding. But Card Player has what you need to get you through the monotony of life. Take Card Player wherever you go with the all-new Card Player Mobile. Text the word TRIAL, TRIAL, to the number 96262 on your mobile phone. Go to www.cardplayermobile.com. On your phone's browser, you will see chip counts, updates, and copies of our magazine. Take us, Card Player, the Poker Authority, with you everywhere you go.
This is James Woods. You're listening to The Circuit. It's a great show. Don't go away or I will find where you live.
Welcome back to the circuit, everyone. The final table of the 2006 Legends of Poker is right around the corner. Gavin Smith, Joe Sebok, and I am Scott Huff. We are about to handicap this final table for you. It is 6 players that go to the WPT final table, and should we start from the 6th place person or the first? We always start with 6th, right?
We
Work our way to
6th.
first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming in 6th place in chip position. By the way, the final table starts today at 5 p.m. Pacific. Make sure to follow all of the action live on cardplayer.com. We'll have chip counts, live updates, and video profiles on all of the players, starting with this man, Scotty, the Prince of Poker, the Train, Win.
Scotty
he
Win,
is from
baby.
Henderson, Nevada, by way of, I believe, is it Vietnam?
I believe it is.
By way of Vietnam, he is coming in 6th place with $375,000 in chips. This guy is obviously Scotty Win, but I will run down some of his great accomplishments. $5.4 million in lifetime tournament earnings for this guy, 4 bracelets, 1 World Poker Tour title, 7 cashes on the WPT, including 4 top 10s, and obviously the 1 win that I've already announced. Scotty Win's game, I'll let you guys take it away. I'm sure you've played with him or at least seen plenty of Scotty. I mean, coming in on the short stack, what do you think?
I have played with Scotty a little bit, not a lot. Gavin certainly has more experience because he actually played a final table with Scotty. But we don't have to beleaguer the experience, and obviously he's been there. He's not going to get nervous in front of the television, which is a big advantage for him. One thing that I noticed that Scotty doesn't do a lot are continuation bets. So this is a very specific thing that when I played against him, it actually cost me dearly. I misplayed a hand with him. So one thing to watch for him is if he doesn't hit, a lot of times he will check. So it depends if the players are going to be able to pick up on this or not. If you can pick up on that and if you're behind him, if you have position and he's going to check you, a lot of times you can pick up those pots. But I do expect Scotty to do somewhat well. You have to consider the fact that he is the short stack. He's going to have to get lucky if he's going to win this thing. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. But I would look for him, probably to move up a couple spots because a few of the names I don't know on the list. So those guys probably don't have as much experience.
I mean, is he severely short stacked going into a WPT final table with 375,000? Is that a severe short stack?
Yeah.
Is he in a real?
He's pretty bad. It also depends on how far they're going to roll back the blinds.
10 blinds. They're probably going to
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Probably going to start the blinds at 15 to 30,000.
Right.
So, he's in trouble. I think he's probably going to come sixth.
Wow, how about that? Right off the bat. Anything else to say about Scotty's play? You did play a final table with him, but was it a different situation, obviously? I don't think he came in on a short stack in that one, right?
He came in as the chip leader, but Scotty, one thing about Scotty is he loves to be the show. He loves to be the center of attention.
Right.
And what happened at Tunica was we all started drinking a little bit, and I sort of started to be a little bit of a goofball, I guess. And at one point, and then John Fan gave me his Buddha to wear, and that really and that kind of offended Scotty a little bit. And
did it really?
Yeah, which is bad. I never would have done it if I had known it would have offended him. But
you think it offended him just in terms of Vietnamese,
just because I guess it's a religious thing, and and Scotty just didn't think it was very. He was actually really mad at John Fan for it. But anyways, what happened was Scotty ended up kind of tilting, and ended up he ended up getting all the money in the middle with me with like an instant call with top pair of sevens and a 5 kicker when I had queen 7, and he would have been left with only about 200,000 afterwards. And it happened to pair the board and come king on the river when we chopped the pot, and that's the only reason why he actually really probably ended up not coming fourth in that tournament. Mm-hmm. And he tilted his way into that situation. So I mean, if someone tries to steal the show from him, and I think the one who's most likely to do that is Frankie Odell.
Right.
I think Scotty will tilt a little bit.
All right. Randy Holland coming in 5th place. He's from Winnetka, California. He has 615,000 in chips. This guy has over 1.3 million in lifetime tournament earnings. He has a 2000 World Series of Poker bracelet in stud high-low, and the 1996 World Series of Poker he won a Raz bracelet. No World Poker Tour results ever for Randy Holland. What do you guys know about Randy's game?
And he's Canadian.
He's Canadian? Oh, it's Winnetka, Canada?
He lives in California now, but he's originally from Canada. Years and years ago. But Randy has been around forever. Randy is a professional that's been playing tournament poker for as long as I've been around. He's had tons of great results. He's a solid player. He probably right now he's probably going to play a little too tight. Given his current chip situation. He doesn't have a ton of gamble to him. He's more of just your rock solid type player.
Your sock rolled
type player.
Type player.
I'll tell you, you can't come into a WPT and be a sock rolled player.
Sock rolled tight.
But no, I mean, I kind of suspect that Randy's one who could sort of hang around, but I'm not positive he's going to have enough gamble to win this tournament.
Yeah, I actually haven't played with him, but I agree with everything Gavin said. That coupled with the fact you say that he does have some good results, but I don't think he has much television coverage. So
he's got a bit. He was on the PPT.
Oh really?
Yeah, he had some coverage on that, and he's had a bit of TV coverage.
Oh, okay, so maybe it won't affect him.
He won't get nervous.
Yeah, so maybe it won't affect him adversely.
He's a very experienced player.
He's very experienced. I mean, you see if you look at the list, there's a laundry list of finishes and results for this guy.
I've never played
local
him.
tournaments around California too. I'm sure the pressure won't be a huge factor.
Okay.
My estimation. Coming in 4th place is Joe Pelton from Newport Beach, California. He is 4th in chips with 1,010,000. He has a total lifetime tournament earnings of $22,940, and he was 30. His last big finish was his last cash was 36th last year in an event, no limit event at the World Series of Poker. Why do I feel like I recognize Joe though? I see him around tournament poker occasionally. Do you know anything about Joe?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
really?
I've never heard of him. I mean, maybe if I saw a picture of him, excuse me, then I'd be able to place him.
I feel like, and this could be completely wrong, so don't take it from me necessarily, but I feel like he had some connection to Fishman or some of those guys. I don't know why. Joe is a guy you would recognize by face. I don't know a whole lot about his game. He obviously only 3 tournament results on the major tournaments.
And I was going to say, it sounds like he hasn't done that much. So
good luck, Joe.
Yeah, and he's one of these guys who looks like he's got some chips, but I think maybe what Gavin was thinking about Randy before, where he might play a little too tight, that might fall into this spot where he's made a WPT final table. He has some chips, not enough to really push anybody around, so he may end up actually playing a little bit too tight unless he picks up some big hands, and that coupled with the possibility of being nervous, might put him in some dire straits in this situation.
All right, coming in third chip position is Hoyt Corkins.
This is Hoyt Corkins, and you're listening to the circuit.
And you're listening to the circuit.
1,030,000 in chips from Glenwood, Alabama. They call him Mr. All In. They call him the Nightmare. He has $2,185,000 in lifetime tournament earnings, one bracelet, and one WPT win.
Wow, he's gonna be tough.
He won Foxwoods, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then came right back the next event and came second at on the PokerStars Cruise. So Hoyt's going to be tough, man. He's got enough chips that he can probably maneuver a bit. He's going to be super aggressive. He's not going to get nervous. I really like Hoyt's chances.
Right. You know what I find really interesting about Hoyt? He's such a proponent of this all-in strategy. You know, you always see him, with the Daniel, obviously, when he moved in. You'd think now that would maybe, he would use that a little bit less because now he's going to be the one with a little bit of the advantage. He's going to be one of the guys with the experience. So maybe I'm curious to see if he's going to go away from that strategy a little bit and maybe, try to play smaller pots with these guys that are a little less known, or if he's going to keep going with what he's used to, which is playing these big pots. It's going to be interesting.
The biggest thing is his strategy is actually tailor-made for WPT final tables.
Right.
Because the blinds escalate so quickly and it gets... to the point where there's just so much dead money out there, and people don't have hands that often. So he's got a really it's a very effective strategy for WPT final tables.
Well, we have a phone call from an old friend of ours who we will hopefully be seeing soon about Hoyt Corkins. We're going to play it right now. Danny, take it away.
Hey guys, Shrunk Daddy here.
What up, Shrunk Daddy?
Hoyt Corkins is at the final table, and he's kind of known as a move-in specialist, especially in these WPT events where everyone's short stacked. What is optimal counter strategy against a movement specialist?
Optimal
so you guys are the Borgata.
Shut up.
When you're playing against Hoyt, who moves in with a lot of different hands, basically you're just going to have to find a hand, then you're going to call him. There's not a huge strategy for it. It's just you have to wait till you get a hand, but you have to be willing to call a little more liberally than you normally would.
Exactly.
So a guy like Hoyt, you might make the call with an ace-10 or an ace-jack. Because, he's very likely to have 7-8 or something like that.
Right, and that's exactly... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. But what you're going to do is you're going to loosen up your calling standards for all-ins because you just can't let somebody sit there and rape you. 2 7s, you're going to have to, be like, okay, I'm calling in. Ace-10, ace-jack is a great example. A hand normally I don't consider calling all-ins with most players, but with Hoyt you have to because, again, the blinds are rocketing up, things are getting too big, and as Gavin said, there's so much dead money. So I think that the answer is there isn't an optimal strategy. You form it based on the player. Hoyt is a very liberal moving guy. He's not just moving in with good hands. He's moving in with all kinds of hands. So the answer is you loosen up yourself and call those with a little bit weaker hands.
All right, in second place, and he is the story. Him and Frankie actually both have a great story here coming into this final table. Kevin O'Donnell from Scottsdale, Arizona, $2,335,000 in chips. Kevin was the sixth place finisher right here at the Legends of Poker in 2005. He has just under $1 million in lifetime tournament earnings. He was 21st in this year's main event, winning almost $500,000. He final tabled the pot limit Omaha with rebuys this year at the World Series for a $72,000 cash. As I mentioned, 6th of last year's Legends. And he owns a bar that he says has the best grilled wings in the entire universe, which I'm excited
in Arizona
to get some. Yeah,
right on. Yeah, I've only played with
K.
him
O'Donnell's.
I've only played with him once, and when I played with him, he played pretty solid. So I don't, that might not be true for how he plays most of the time. He has some great results, so it makes me think he's probably not that rocky. He probably can get in and mix it up. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of light to shed on him because I haven't played too much.
I've never played with him, but I do know he's a fantastic guy. He gave $5,000 to Paul, so I'm kind of rooting for him a little bit.
I think we have to root for him then.
I'm definitely rooting for Kevin O'Donnell because I asked him yesterday. I said, is it starting to feel like deja vu yet? And he said, don't jinx me, but it's looking pretty good. I don't think anyone has over $1 million yet, whatever. But what's interesting is deja vu would mean then he would stay exactly in the second position, just like last year he stayed exactly in sixth position with $2 million and Frankie with $4 million. You don't know a ton about his game, but obviously having all those chips is an asset, and he's been there before. How do you like his chances of moving up a place? It's not going to necessarily be that easy with these guys.
I think like anything else,
it's a tough final table. So, but
right.
obviously the guy can play. So and he's got chips. So It's just going to depend on how things go today. I don't think he's going to get nervous.
Yeah, the big key at these tables, he has chips. Especially as Gavin was saying, at these final tables, chips give you power. They basically allow you to decide when you're going to make moves versus obviously when the blinds get up and you don't have a lot of chips, you don't get that option anymore. So, if he picks up a hand, there you go. The point is he's going to be able to dictate the action a little bit more than the other guys, which is going to help him out a lot.
All right, and coming in first chip position is Frankie Odell from Long Beach, California, the LBC, 3,880,000 in chips. This guy has just over 377,000 in lifetime tournament winnings. He is an owner of a World Series of Poker bracelet, although you may or may not have heard of him. 2003, the Omaha 8 or better bracelet. He won his seat to this event in the Legends of Legends event, which was the media / former Legends of Poker champions event. I actually played in that event and played with Frankie. At his table, I was with Frankie and Vince Bergio, were the two Legends of Legends that were at my table, among some other media people. Frankie actually he didn't exactly cripple me, but he got me to put in way too many chips early, and then started talking to me and convinced me to fold my 8 high.
Yeah, so tough.
Frankie, he's a bit of a talker, huh, Gavin?
Yeah.
What do you know about this guy?
I actually know quite a bit. I've known Frankie for years. I think I first met him in the late '90s. He's been around forever. He's a former gang member, and he makes he's always happy to tell people how that he used to be kind of a bad guy in a gang, and he's got his way out, and he's pretty aggressive. He's tricky. He plays very well. Talks some smack.
That's for sure.
And I don't think he'll get nervous, although he might get a little, because this is, I believe, his first WPT final table. And I'm not so sure he's been on television that much, so he may get a little tight. And it's always hard to go in as the chip leader because the expectations are so high.
Right.
So it's going to be tough, but I think he'll deal with it very well.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's not going to be my pick to win it. I think he's going to drop down a little bit. Excuse me. But he's the chip leader. I mean, that's power, so you never know.
And he credits Mike Matusow as one of his teachers, maybe at least in Omaha. I guess there was some mention of Mike the Mouth, and that's not tremendously shocking considering the fact that he is a bit of a talker at the table. I heard something about Matusow coaching him. Do you know anything about that, Gav?
No, I don't know anything about that. But, I mean, Frankie knows a lot of people in poker. He's been around forever, and he's a good guy, so... I'm not surprised that he's probably had a friendship with Mike at some point.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will do our final picks for this 2006 Legends of Poker final table right here on the circuit. Is that $75 you won in the 50-cent rebuy tournament online burning a hole in your pocket? Check out the Card Player Store. Go to www.cardplayer.com, click on Poker Store, pick up some books, some DVDs. We've got everything you could possibly want for poker-related merchandise. Once again, www.cardplayer.com and click on Poker Store today. Welcome back to the circuit, everyone. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok from here at the Bicycle Casino.
Joe's in radio jail.
California.
Joe's in radio jail.
Joe is currently in radio jail as we get ready to make our picks.
They let me out.
The final table is right around the corner, boys. Just a couple hours away. 5 p.m. Pacific. Follow it all live on cardplayer.com. Live updates, hand-by-hand coverage. And right now we're going to make our picks for who we think is going to win this Jammy Jam. And Gavin Smith is going to lead it off. It is his turn to go first. And Gavin, you know the people. Put them in order.
In my order, it's going to be in 6th place. It's going to be Scotty Wynn. In 5th place, I'm going to put Joe Pelton. In 3rd place, I am going to put Randy. 4th place, I'm going to put Randy Holland. 3rd place, I'm going to take Frankie Odell. 2nd place, I'm going to take Kevin O'Donnell, and I believe Hoyt Corcoran is going to win this tournament tonight.
Good picks.
All right.
Good picks.
Joe Sebok.
Okay. And the actual winners of the tournament will be 6th place is going to be Joseph Pelton. 5th place, one Scott Beauregard Wynn. That's not really his middle name. 4th place is going to be Randy. I forgot his last name.
Holland.
I'll remember it next time. 3rd place, I'm going to put Who is the chip leader right now?
Do you think Sebok intentionally takes longer than both of us?
Yeah, I do.
In the fourth place is going to be one Randy. I think it starts with an H. I'm not sure what his name is.
I'm just a little more artistic.
Out.
I'm just a little more artistic than you guys. Third place is going to be the chip leader, the current chip leader right now, Frankie Odell. Second place is going to be Hoyt Corkins, which means your winner is going to be the 6th place finisher from last year. I forgot his name again.
Kevin O'Donnell. Thank you.
I don't have the list. It's hard for me to do it without the list, and you guys have it in front of you, and I don't have it in front of me.
All right, and now for the genius picks, because I believe I've been pretty... Gavin started off real hot. Then I made some picks that were pretty close, but we were making bets that didn't benefit me getting close. I had to nail them right on the head. I think, let's see, that your 6th place finisher is going to be this Randy Holland character. I think he is going to be, and I shouldn't call him a character, he's got a lot of history, but I think Randy's going to be in 6th. I think your 5th place finisher will probably be Joe Pelton. I think your 4th place finisher is going to be Scotty Wynn. In 3rd, I like Frankie Odell. And in 2nd, Kevin O'Donnell, staying right where he is, and in 1st, Hoyt Corkins. So those are my picks.
So you guys went with the popular pick.
What do you mean, Hoyt? Hoyt Corkins? Yeah, I mean,
Hoyt Corkins.
I love Hoyt at these final tables. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's going to play good.
All right.
I think he's going to apply some pressure, and it could get ugly for people early if he can become the nightmare.
You know, I had this whole idea. It was so cool. Had I, I'm going to let it out of the bag now. Had I beat you in our World Series bet,
yeah,
I was going to come in and be like, or even if I just made a final table early on, I was going to be like, I went running day. It was like the most amazing run. And you'd be like, oh, wow, that's nice. And I'm like, yeah, I was listening to this song, Gavin. You might like it. And then I was going to be like Danny, and he was going to be like, under pressure. It was totally going to be about how you're under pressure, but I never did, and I sucked.
What were you going to dress me up as if I had lost?
I had a couple of things that I was kicking around.
So tell us.
Well, there's one I want.
100th episode.
Yeah, there's one I was gonna save.
Save for what?
I liked your idea of the St. Pauli girl. I thought that was pretty solid.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
I was also thinking of dressing you up as a Viking. Fred Flintstone was a possibility. The actual Fred Flintstone.
That's not a superhero. Oh, you're just for day one.
No.
Okay,
yeah. It's just for day one. And Fred Flintstone is a superhero to
me. Me too.
I also considered dressing you up as a big pink bunny rabbit. There were a lot of things I was kicking around. They all would have been great. They all would have been fabulous.
Wow, I almost wish I had lost.
Well, it's been another great week of Circuit Boys. I would like to thank all of our guests. Bart Hansen from Live at the Bike. You can check them out Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time at www.liveatthebike.com. I'd like to thank Chris Bell for guest hosting, Chad Brown, Vanessa Russo, Chip Jett, and Yosh Nakano for being on the show. We'd like to thank the Bicycle Casino for having us here. Come check them out in Bell Gardens. There's some soft games here because I'm in them sometimes. I'd like to thank you guys.
Thank you.
For yet another great week.
And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out last night to Paul's tournament.
I would like to thank all those people too. Poker community is a great one, and we will be following this trail around for you all year, starting next at the Borgata. We'll be there. Be there with us. This is The Circuit. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, Joe Sebok. Good night.
Later.
Enjoy the final table.